Hi everyone, today I'm going to be teaching you how to teach fifth graders long division, and this works for any kind of division. It can be 4 by 2 digit division, 3 by 2 digit, whatever kind of long division. This method works, and this is going to be the most effective method for teaching fifth graders long division when they just have pencil and paper. Obviously, if you implement a creative method or a hands-on method, that is really great too, but this is just kind of showing the basic steps that they should go through if they're performing a test or just doing a worksheet that you have in your curriculum. This is the way that they should be doing long division. So there are 3 steps when doing long division. So they should always first estimate, solve, then check. That is the process they should go through every time, and I will show you why in a second. So we're gonna use 132 divided by 41 as our example here. And just some quick terms for you, just so that you can use these when you're teaching, because it is really important to get those terms in their head and that they start to use those terms when they like give you answers or talk you through a problem. So this number right here, the first number in the problem, is called the dividend. And then the second number is called the divisor. Kind of how I remember that the first number is the dividend and the second one is the divisor is the dividend has more letters, so that comes first, and then the divisor has less letters, so that comes second. And also, this has the word end in it. And even though it's at the beginning of the problem, you can tell them they can remember by it kind of being flip-flops. So it's kind of the opposite. So the end is first, the dividend is first, and then the divisor second, which is just the number that's getting divided into this. So we're gonna estimate first. That is the first important step. So we're gonna drop the 132 divided by 41. And you always estimate the divisor first. So you're gonna estimate the divisor first. You're gonna do it to the nearest 10. So it'd be closer to 40. So they would estimate it to 40. And then they have to estimate this one. And you don't just estimate this one to the nearest 10. They have to think, what is a basic fact that this 4 can go into? So a basic fact that is close to this number. So in this case, it'd be 120. Because then you have your basic fact, which is 12 divided by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. And then you always cross off your zeros. And so there's no zeros left, we know the answer should be around 3. So this just gives them a good starting point. This is a much easier division problem they can do in their head than this one. So when they have the starting point, they know, okay, when I'm actually dividing, I have a number that it should be pretty close to, and I know that's my first step. I know I'm confident I did this right, because the checking is gonna really make them confident. And this is just another way to kind of get their brains thinking and be like, okay, this is another checkpoint. So then they're going to actually solve. All right, so you're gonna have your box, and your dividend goes in the box, and your divisor goes outside the box. And then you're gonna walk them through how to divide. So they're gonna be like, okay, does 41 go into 1? No, it can't go into 1. And they can always put a 0 here or an X if that helps them. And then does 41 go into 13? No, it doesn't go into 13, but it can go into 132. And this is where this is useful too, because then they don't have to multiply out. If they got a good estimate, they already know that 41 can probably go into 132 3 times, because it was pretty close here when we did 120 divided by 40, and we didn't have to change these numbers too much. So we're gonna try 3. So then they have a good starting point of where they can see how many times, if that is closest that they can get to their dividend here. So they're gonna multiply this out, and that's 123. So that's pretty close to 132, and we know 41 can't go in any more than that. So we're gonna put that 3 up here, because it goes below or above this number, because that's what 41 can go into, and 41 times 3 we found is 123. And then they will subtract, and that gets them 9. And since 41 can't go into 9, that is our remainder. And always have them circle their quotient. That is another word here, or vocab word. that we want them to use, their quotient. So their quotient is 3 remainder 9. Now they go on to the check step, and this makes them, once again, very confident to see if they got this right. Because the check step is really good, because with division, multiplication, anything like this, it's really easy to make little mistakes, which can throw the whole problem off. So this is really helpful for students practice other math concepts and to be confident in their answer. So to check your work, you take the divisor first. And then you multiply that by just the whole number in the quotient, not the remainder, but just the whole number. And you can write that out for them so that they can see it. Have them write, okay, this is my divisor, and this is, you can tell them that it's like part 1 of their quotient. You can say either part 1 and explain, okay, this is part 1, this is part 2, or you can say that it's just the whole number because the remainder is not the whole number, so you can say that as well. You can just say the first, whatever you want to say. You can say not the remainder, whatever you feel is best for your students. So 41 times 3, we already found that, so that's 123. And then we're going to take that answer, and then we're going to add our remainder. Okay, so have them draw that arrow, and then under here you can write remainder. And 123 plus 9 is 132. And as long as that matches our dividend, we know we solved the problem correctly. So you'll ask them, okay, does that match our dividend? You can be under here, does it match our dividend? Or you could do this, dividend. That's probably better. And if it matches, then they know they solved their problem correctly. So these are the 3 steps on how students should solve division problems. And also, it's really great when you add these labels and make the students do it too, and kind of walk around and check and make sure they're doing that. Because if they do that, then they can easily refer back to this one you did together and know, okay, because they might forget the first few times, like what number goes where when they're checking their work. So then they can look back and be like, okay, I do my divisor, and then I multiply that by my whole number. Okay, and then I bring that down, and then what do I add? Okay, the remainder. And then, okay, if I got my answer here, but how do I know? Oh, if it matches my dividend, then I know I did it right. So then they can easily look back, and it's just good for them to practice labels and to practice their vocabulary too. So it's just a win-win all around. But yeah, I really hope this video was helpful for you for how to kind of go through the steps of long division with students. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.